Could someone take a car from the 70s, say like my Mach 1 behind me, and drive it 3,000 miles across the country and back within 2 weeks? This has been a goal of mine for well over 2 years now. I tried it a year and a half ago. This car lost a rear axle bearing. That caused me to find a local mechanic. It took 2 days to get the parts in, and that 2-day delay, it's actually 2.5, set my timeline back too far in order to make it. I wanted to try it again, but this time in my 1977 Maverick. I've been told by many that the 256 cylinder is one of the most reliable engines Ford ever built. Well, I gave it a shot, accompanied by a good friend, Glenn Beck. He was driving his factory 5 Daytona Shelby. This is a car he's built over the last 6 years in his attached garage, and he's tested it and had problems and fixed those problems and tested it again, but he figures it's ready for a shakedown. I'll let you see how that journey went now. Okay, hey, it's day one. Getting ready to take this Maverick on a 6,000 mile round trip. Sure, it's crazy. Some of you are worried about me, saying, hey, what are you thinking? Don't worry, I've got a wingman. My wingman is Glenn Beck and his factory 5 Daytona Cobra Coupe that he's built in his garage, attached garage, over the last 5 years. It's got a few thousand miles on it, which is maybe 1,500 more than I've got on the Maverick. Hopefully, the next time I check in with you, we'll be along the road somewhere. Our destination tonight is Champaign, Illinois. The idea for our first day was to log as many miles as possible while we were fresh. This day would be 650 miles and would take us through Pennsylvania, a part of West Virginia, Ohio, and into Illinois. A quick tip when driving west is to take sunscreen. It was a hot day, so the windows needed to be down in the Maverick, and that led me to some serious sunburn on my left arm and leg. This is also when I learned a Maverick is most comfortable between the speeds of 65 and 70 miles per hour. Any more would lead to a shake in the steering wheel. Glenn, who had air conditioning, knocked out the day with no real issues. It's the start of day 2. We're in Champaign, Illinois. Yesterday was very uneventful. Well, I'm hoping to have another uneventful day. Today we're going to go 500 miles to Nebraska City, Nebraska. The drive for day 2 is where a few nagging issues began for the Maverick. The exhaust manifold flange that I thought I had repaired prior to leaving started to leak. The rear nut was loosening because the front nut was never really seated completely. Also, the inside tread of my front tires was wearing away more than the rest of the tire. You see, I didn't get the car aligned before leaving because it drove straight and everything on the front end was tight. There were no indications that this could be a problem. We had covered 468 miles on day 2. We put Illinois, Missouri, and part of Iowa in the rearview mirror and just entered into Nebraska. Glenn, once again, had no real issues with his car. So it's the beginning of day 3. We are leaving Nebraska. There's Glenn fired up. Nebraska City, Nebraska. Today we're heading to Gothenburg. That's the scene of where I broke down last time. Hopefully no issues there. I've used 1.5 quarts of oil in a little over 1,200 miles, which is somewhat concerning with the oil's old. I'm going to be changing it here shortly. So maybe a little Lincoln Highway today, we'll see. Driving on day 3 was a breeze. We had stuck to the Lincoln Highway, or Route 30 in Nebraska, where the speed limit is no more than 65 miles per hour. We hit some historic sites along the way and covered 242 miles. We had originally intended to drive to Wyoming that day, but there was a snowstorm in place there, and neither of us wanted to drive through that. So stopping for the night and letting the storm blow over seemed to make a lot more sense. This is also about the time where the Maverick started to require maintenance in the mornings and in the evenings. So if somebody out there wanted drama, I'm not sure who you are, but my exhaust flange is loosening up. One of the nuts is backing off for some reason, and when that's happening, they get the exhaust leak back. It's a lot easier getting it from underneath, and I always tell you have a lift. I don't have one here at the Howard Johnson's. They don't have a lift here. I don't know why. They have continental breakfast, but no lift. The audio in this next clip is filled with obscenities. It's not exactly fit for YouTube. Fighting this went on for 45 minutes. It seems the front manifold studs threads are not in the best of shape, and since I don't have an impact, I can't back the nut off. That left me with one option, and that option is to tighten the back bolt as best I can. I do get a few turns on it, and it quiets down somewhat. So it's the beginning of day 4. We are in Gothenburg, Nebraska. Things are looking okay here. I've got some issues with wear on the front tires. I think it's an alignment issue, and I have a tire shop spec'd out. I'm going to be giving them a call in a little bit to see if they can square me away. This day we stay on the Lincoln Highway. We hit a few points of interest and make a stop at a tire shop in Cheyenne, Wyoming. They are unable to get the car in the alignment rack, but are willing to flip the front tires for me, putting the white letters on the inside of my front tire. This reverses the wear pattern on the tires, and the car is handling much better. At the end of this day, we hit the 1,680 mile mark for the trip. I'm pretty sure this is as high elevation as this Maverick's ever seen. I think I'm around 8,500 feet above sea level and climbing. So I'm sure I'm burning a little rich. I don't want to slow down. Day 5 is where my trip and Glenn's trip became something very different. Glenn has a Gen 2 Coyote powering his car with its mass airflow sensor, while I have a carburetor that was adjusted for 500 feet above sea level. We would be at altitude for the large majority of the day as we made our way across Wyoming and into Salt Lake City. Glenn, with my encouragement, did a lot of sightseeing, while the Maverick and I simply soldiered on. The Maverick's top comfortable cruising speed of 70 miles per hour, Interstate 80 speed limits of 75 to 80, meant that Glenn could stop and see whatever he wanted and simply catch up to me at any time. He took full advantage of this, and I'm glad he did so. I was content to view the landscape, occasionally dotted with pronghorns, and when we pull into Salt Lake City for the evening, we are at a total of 2,057 miles traveled. I performed an oil change in the hotel parking lot, and I did so without spilling anything. I once again tightened the exhaust manifold and put the Maverick away for the evening. Good morning from Salt Lake City, Utah. It is about 7:30 a.m. here, which I got up at 5 because I'm used to Pennsylvania time. We are destined for Winnemucca today. Just an update, nothing really bad happening. The Maverick had some issues at altitude yesterday. We got up as high as 8,640 feet, and I went to a rest stop. The car didn't want to idle, obviously, so I just boogied and just kept going. We're about 800 miles out from the Golden Gate Bridge. The paranoia is something bad happening is wearing off, but of course you never know. I'm driving a 46-year-old car. A lot of the parts on it are 46 years old. So as you're driving, there's always something in the back of your mind. What's that noise? Is that creak new? And sometimes it's the wind. Sometimes it's just an old car. They creak and rattle. That's what they do. But cross your fingers for us out there. We're getting close. Why is it that when your confidence level is at its highest, adversity steps in? Well, this is an issue, but not a great big issue. My cat is clogged, and the EGR system doesn't work in this car. I thought about pulling the cat before I left and just straight piping it. I really wish I did now. It pulled into a rest stop. It's smoking really bad. So I think it's time to just pull it. So I stopped at the place and went over Utah. I cut that video short because you know what they say. If you can't say anything nice about a place, say nothing at all. I did get the cat cut out, but it took 3 hours, and I was originally told it would be 45 minutes. And the lack of craftsmanship was, well, something I would deal with the rest of the trip. The exhaust needed to be patched daily from here on out, and it's something that I have to fix now the car's home. Glenn made good use of my downtime by visiting the Bonneville Salt Flats, a place where the original Shelby Daytona set many land speed records, and historic Wendover Airfield, a place that once housed the Enola Gay, the B-29 bomber that carried the atomic bombs dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Once my exhaust work was completed, we headed towards Winnemucca, with Glenn stopping and taking in several viewpoints.
While I'm here at Castle Rock, I should mention that the Team Weimer Daytona Coupe has been performing flawlessly.
Meanwhile, I was making stops at auto parts stores to find a way to fix the exhaust noise level. Well, I certainly didn't expect this. I guess I should have. Yeah. That's how things go in Winnemucca, Nevada. But yeah, all the cars are covered with snow. There's a good 3-4 inches of snow on the car. So I'll contend with that. And then we're going to get some breakfast, I think. So maybe we'll get breakfast first and see what happens with the cars. This should be the last snow we see until we have to, come back. We headed west towards Davis, California. Eventually, the clouds disappeared and the sun returned. We made our way through Reno, Nevada, and began our ascent over the Sierra Nevada mountains. Just a few seconds ago, I'd mentioned that I felt the snow in Winnemucca would be the last we would see until we returned to the area. However, the signs telling truckers that they needed to chain up told a different story. Sure enough, as we approached Donner Pass, yes, the pass where the Donner Party spent a winter filled with death and cannibalism, the snow began to fall. It didn't let up for the better part of 40 minutes. However, thankfully, there was only minor accumulation on the road surface. Well, it's 20 minutes later, and if you look around, yeah, it's still coming down. So this is Route 80, April 18th, something like that, and it's snowing pretty hard. Well, it's running. There's the Maverick. Welcome to California. Beautiful. So eventually, Glenn and I made it over the Sierra Nevada mountains. The weather changed drastically from snow to mid-50s and sun. We're at this point in the journey, we're only 80 miles away from our goal, the Golden Gate Bridge. You're going to have to check in next time to see that video. It's going to take me a little bit of time to put these things together. As always, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button so that other people see this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I'm going to put a link over here to our first trip on the Lincoln Highway where, unfortunately, we failed. Until next time, we'll see you. So close. So close. Oh, starter not now.